So imagine building a company worth billions of dollars, living a life most people dream about, luxurious home, expensive cars, celebrity connections, and unlimited amounts of money. And then one day, you walk away. Yes, you walk away from it all. Not because you lost everything, not because you were forced to, but because you believe nothing of it made you happy. And that's the unbelievable truth of Scott-Vincent Borba, one of the early co-founders behind e.l.f. Cosmetics, who reportedly gave away much of his fortune and chose a completely different path, became a Catholic priest, and the deeper you look into the story, the stranger and more powerful it becomes. This story isn't just about money. It's a story about what happens when someone reaches the top and realizes it still isn't enough. The beginning, long before e.l.f. became a global cosmetic giant, Scott-Vincent Borba was already deep involved in the beauty industry. He built a business around skincare and cosmetics during a time where the beauty world was exploding into popularity. And Borba understood something early. Most people weren't just buying makeup, they were buying confidence. They were buying an identity. They were diving into a transformation. This understanding helped him become extremely successful. Eventually, he became connected to the creation and the rise of e.l.f. Cosmetics. Shortly from eyes, lips, and fame, and what made e.l.f. different from simple, affordable beauty products that look high-end but cost almost nothing. At a time when major makeup brands were charging a premium prices, e.l.f. disrupted the industry by selling products for just a few dollars. People loved it. The company exploded. Soon, e.l.f. productions were everywhere. Drugstores, big retail chains, online beauty influencers, social media tutorials. The brand became one of the biggest cosmetic success stories in America. And with that success came with massive wealth. Borba had entered a world most people never experienced. Hollywood circles, yes, a luxurious lifestyle, business fame. From the outside, it looked perfect. According to Borba, something inside him was changing. The empty feeling. This is the part of the story that shocked people because most people spend their entire life chasing money. They believe wealth will finally bring peace. That once they became successful enough, they felt complete. But Borba reportedly began feeling the opposite. Despite the money, despite the success, and despite making an access to almost everything he wanted, he still felt empty. And that feeling started growing stronger. Many people who became extremely wealthy describe this strange movement. They finally reached the dream they spent years chasing, only to realize the dream itself doesn't fix loneliness, anxiety, or fear, or purpose. And for Borba, that realization appeared to have hit hard. Instead of feeling fulfilled, he began searching for something deeper. Not more business, not more fame. He was searching for the meaning of purpose, the meaning of faith, the decision that shocked everyone that came, the decision that nobody expected. Scott-Vincent Borba reported beginning stepping away from the luxurious lifestyle that he defined for his life for years, and eventually he made a radical choice. He entered seminary school to study the Catholicism priesthood. Think about how insane that sounds in today's world. A millionaire businessman leaving behind this luxurious and status to live a life focused on faith, discipline, humanity, and service. Most people move on in the opposite direction. They chased fame. Borba walked away from it. Reports say that he donated a large portion of his wealth and dramatically simplified his life. And what's fascinating is this: he didn't describe the decision as a sacrifice. He described it almost like freedom, as some thought the thing people admired most, money, luxurious status, it actually became chains. That's what makes this story so powerful, because whether something is religious or not, it forces people to ask uncomfortable questions. How much success actually equals to happiness? And what happiness if you achieve everything and still feel lost? Why the story connects with people. Part of the reason this story separates online so quickly is because people are exhausted. Modern cultures consistently tell people get rich, look better, buy more, flex harder. But at the same time, anxiety is rising, depression is rising, loneliness is rising. And stories like Borba's almost feels like a contradiction to the world we live in, because here is someone who actually had the lifestyle millionaire fantasize about and still decide it wasn't enough. This hit people hard, especially young audience online. A lot of people are beginning to question whether non-stop chasing for money and status actually creates happiness or just dissatisfaction. And Borba's transformation became symbolic of the question. The internet reaction when people first heard this story, their reactions were split. Some people admire him deeply. They call it inspiring, inspirational, courageous, a sign of spiritual awakeness. Others thought he was crazy. They couldn't understand why anyone would leave behind millions of dollars in influence. And honestly, that divide says a lot about society, because depending how someone views you, Borba's decision either looks completely insane or incredibly brave. Now check this out. But regardless of opinion, almost everyone agrees on one thing. Very few people would actually do it. It's easy to talk about purpose. It's much harder to walk away from comfort. The biggest or the bigger message at its core, this story, it's not even really about religion. It's about fulfillment. Because people are starting to realize there's a huge difference between looking successful and actually feeling at peace. Borba reached a level most people will never will. And yet the thing he ultimately reached for couldn't be bought. Not with fame, not with luxury, not with money. And whether someone agrees with his path or not, his story forces one massive question. If the people who have everything are still unhappy, then what are we really chasing? Today, instead of building beauty brands, Borba is focused on faith, ministry, and helping others. A completely different life than the one that made him famous. And maybe that's why this story keeps spreading, because in the world obsession with being rich, there's something fascinating about a man who had it all and willing to walk away. And honestly, that might be more rare than becoming a millionaire in the first place.